Welcome to a Culture Course production where we help you attract the top talent and create a company culture where your team can thrive. And this week's episode, we're going to go over an article that Forbes wrote. It's about the impact generation. It talks about how people are wired and designed to want to make an impact and how that impact and understanding this about people can help you with your team, with your employees, and with your business. So this article, what it did is actually talked about two different particular opportunities that people could be a part of, basically purchasing opportunities where they could say, hey, I'm going to purchase a product or a service from this company over here. And they actually have a very inexpensive product and service, but I don't really know anything about them or what they're doing, or I don't know about their purpose, or I don't know what they do with my income. But then there's this other product or service, which is more expensive, but I'm tied to what they're doing. They've told me a story about the impact that they're making with the money that they have. They've tied me to a philanthropic endeavor that they're attached to and what they do with their profits. And far and away, and it's not just in like a blind study where people are checking, it's actual dollars that were being spent in real life situation. Whenever people were able to be tied to an impact that's being made, they would choose to even spend more money to go with this other company. Why? As we've talked about before on this show, people want to make the world a better place. People want to do stuff that matters. So, what does that mean for your team? You need to connect your team with the awesome things that your products or service do. You cannot blindly let your staff just complete tasks, do things throughout the day, show up to work and leave without knowing how the work, the product, the service that your company is providing, the work that they're doing is impacting other people's lives. You cannot just do numbers. You have to tie things to people. And even if you have a hard time doing that, you have to have some connection to your community or some philanthropic endeavor that is actually making an impact. This week's episode is brought to you by Culture Course. CultureCourse.com is where you can go to check it out. Jared and Camilla Cavley, they are students of Culture Course. I actually got to go to their office. They have this gigantic warehouse called Pristine Auction. You need to check it out. You can buy some really cool stuff from them, signed memorabilia and different things. They're a consignment company, and they have over 100 employees there now, and their company is just growing and thriving. But one of the things that I got to help them do is help them create a purpose that connected their team internally and connected their customers externally with this impact that was being made. Now, their impact, their kind of statement, purpose statement, if you will, is they're connecting people to authentic moments on their terms. How cool is that? And that's what people are doing, because everybody loves to be connected to a moment, especially if it's an authentic moment. And if it's on my terms, that's great. They're a consignment shop selling those different things, memorabilia, and now they're doing it with that purpose statement, and that has made a big impact on their staff. So, Jared, Camille, love you guys, and thank you for being a part of Culture Course, CultureCourse.com. So here's your rebuttal. You're probably thinking, okay, Grant, I get it. People want to be able to make an impact, but I don't have any stories. I don't really have anything that we can do. My business or product doesn't necessarily directly tie to people. Okay, how does it indirectly tie to people? How can you find a way to make an impact on other people? Even think about other philanthropic endeavors that you can be a part of. Tom's shoes. To be honest with you, I don't like them. They're ugly and the shoes fall apart, especially when compared to something like a Nike or a Converse or an Adidas or something like that. But they're crazy popular and they were amazingly popular for an extremely long time. Why buy a pair of shoes? They give another pair of shoes away to somebody in need. You bought a shoe and you made an impact on people. There are ways that you can indirectly find the impact that your company makes or find ways to be connected with something as part of a philanthropic endeavor, whether it's one that you create or you partner with another company somehow, some way. This stuff is a big deal. And if your staff knows that the stuff that they're doing on a day-to-day basis is making an impact on people, it will help. It will help make sure that they are doing things that matter, doing work that matters, and have a purpose that they can pursue with you and with everyone else. You've got to find these things. Okay, we recently broke a whole bunch of records at Stewardship where we were specifically helping a lot of people with their financial plans, with their investments, with their mortgages and different things. And there are numbers that we have to have that are attached to these goals, which are a big deal because they help us measure things, right? You have to have numbers. But what I did when I went to kind of celebrate with my team was I took those numbers, did some research, did some math, and determined how those numbers were as a whole or on an average, impacting an individual person's life. The financial impact that it had on that particular person's life or on people's life on average or as a whole based on the work that we were doing. Then, when I created a celebration moment, I took everybody to a Brazilian steakhouse. It was Fogo de Chao. And I stood up in the kind of meeting hall area that they gave us and kind of shared these numbers, but people really weren't paying attention much as they were doing that. They were eating their food. And then I said, hey, everybody, look up here real quick. Here is the impact that was being made on people as a result of all these numbers. And I shared some of the savings, the life change, and the big deals that were happening in these households and in these peoples. And all of a sudden, there was a connection. And there was this different mood in the room. And I even went as far as taking some testimonials and some stories from those people that we had chatted with and read those aloud. Those are some things that you can be doing. So here's your call to action this week. Schedule a celebration with your team where you are sharing the impact that you are making together. Where are you guys making the world a better place? Where are you guys helping others? An impact being made on a life is a big deal. And fundamentally, a business does not exist unless it is genuinely serving a person or a group of people. Find that impact that's being made. Search for it. And turn the numbers, turn some of the success for the profit, change it into people, and celebrate that with your team. And see how that changes things based on the next day or the next week that they come in. Find a day, celebrate, schedule it, connect it to people, and communicate that to your team. Might even want to do it consecutively every week. Make it a habit, make it a tradition, something that you're doing. We will see you guys next week.